Good evening, family. I just wanted to take a minute and talk about something that people ask from time to time about studio work or about photography, and it is flashes, right? And we've all seen it. You have on your camera, like sometimes like the built-in flash that you pull the little lid up and it'll flash. Okay, those don't give you a lot of light, but they may help in a pinch in a super dark space. But we really want to talk about professional flashes, which are of two major different types. And a lot of times we'll call one the other or not know which one is which. But first one we'll talk about a little bit is called actually a speed light. Speed light is a type of flash, and we mostly have seen it with professional photographers, and they mount onto the top of their cameras like this, right on the top. And they are synchronized with the camera so that when you push the shutter button, the flash goes off almost the same as a built-in flash would do. So these are pretty nice. They're battery powered. They have a little, a little LED screen where you can set the power and different things. This one is about 60 to 80 watts, right? And it's got a modifier on it. You can take it off to make it a little bit brighter or to make the light a little bit softer with the modifier on it. But they're nifty, they're portable, they're great for like weddings and doing family events where you don't want to have a big light on a light stand. So they're great to have. The power, though, sometimes is a problem if you're trying to do something where you need really more light power. And then in that case, you'd use what's called a strobe. And we call them sometimes studio strobes. But yeah, that's what they are. They're strobes. And they're meant to be brighter than a speed light, used in the same way. And in this case, a lot of times what strobes and flashes are doing really on this level, not talking about the ones that are built into the camera because they can't, but the speed lights here and the strobes are really meant to overpower the ambient light in a room. Like this room has yellow light, amber light, and that I don't want that on my subject. What I really want is true like sunlight, a higher Kelvin light. And so I would use something like either a speed light or a strobe. And you can see there's a strobe right here on the stand behind me. Great for studio work. And I can set that, it goes up to 300 watts. They start at about 200, 600, 800, up to 1,000 and more. Versus this one, which is 60 to 80 watts, right? So if I really want to shoot with more light, or especially like we've got a shoot coming up this weekend where I'm shooting a crowd, so I really need to have bigger modifiers than this one, right? And I need to spread the light across that whole group of people, and I need it to be bright, right? So in that case, the speed light wouldn't really work. I would have to use something like a studio strobe. And so all of these lights in the studio work with the camera when you're using a trigger. There's a trigger. Same brand as the strobe, but these triggers are great because I can use a speed light with this trigger, or I can use a strobe, and I can put them on different channels and set them for different levels of power. You can see this one has 5 channels, A through E, right? And I can put them on different channels and set the level of power on each channel different from one or the other. So these triggers, they're made to work with different cameras. Like I would buy a trigger for my Lumix camera, but it wouldn't typically work on a, say, Canon camera. So you just got to make sure when you're buying these triggers that you're buying the trigger that works with your individual camera. But they sync them up and allow you to do really better photos and take out that ambient light above me that's yellow, or sometimes if you're getting a colored light that's a different color from sunlight, it'll overpower it with the speed light or strobe. But great studio tools. Guys, just wanted to talk a little bit about them so you kind of know what they are, how they're used. This one you've seen a lot, I'm sure, in weddings and people who do, portraits and stuff like that on the go. But the strobes are more of a studio light, and less common and less people know what they are. And they also use modifiers too, like the softbox for that modifier, and we can use all different types of modifiers on top of these strobes. So I just want to jump on, guys, talk a little bit about that, and just to share the difference between the Speedlite and the strobe and why you might use one in a studio environment. And that's really to overpower a lot of the ambient light so you can get a really nice quality of light color on your subject, and just makes everything look so much better. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great day, and just subscribe or like and share, and I'll be back soon. Take care.